a really hot virtual sex scene with me and Angela V. Shelton of the Detroit Sheltons. I'm just saying, if you need another reason to go to sexyliberal.com and the tour section and watch it on demand, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yes, it's many shades of sexy liberal.
Yes, I did have a hot sex scene with both Hal Sparks and Angela, and you'll have to go see why. But listen, all my sex is virtual and imaginary, so it was hot for me. It was good for me, Angela.
It was very good for me, and it was, in fact, the most touch I've had in over a year.
And it also, I did not ask your permission, so it was a bit of a Me Too thing, too. You didn't even know you were in a sex scene with me till afterwards. So technically...
That's the way I'm best. That's when I perform my best.
Yeah.
Trust me,
really.
trust me, I know.
She knows. The less I know about it, the better for everyone involved.
I don't even want to know what that means. Okay. Frangela, hi. Hi. Oh, wait, I'm saving something for you. Hang on a second, because I know you've probably already done Idiot of the Week. But did you see in Australia, a woman said there were what she described as too many spiders in her daughter's room, and she said, should we just burn the house down? And I'm going to say you would make an exception, Angela, for spiders and say, yes, in fact, you should burn the house down.
Well, yeah, if there were like 2, they've taken it.
Right.
Because those are recon spiders. I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the whole platoon had showed up for this one.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah. She literally asked her daughter, should we just burn the house? Yeah, should we burn the house down? And I would, that amount of spiders, my answer would also be, yes, you should.
Yeah. And I think we should look at the whole block, really.
It's infested.
That's what I'm saying. They have, once they get a foothold, or feet,
so that person would not make Idiot of the Week for burning their house down. If there are spiders involved.
A hero.
I would
that's a
say
logical
they're
choice.
An idiot. Angela would say that they're a hero.
Okay.
When you are bowing to your spider overlords, you will remember this.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So where would you like to start this week? Our friend Malcolm Nance was just on Wednesday. I don't know if you saw his piece. He told us about it in the Washington Post. We're still too complacent about the threat of violent domestic extremism. And it's a whole, obviously he's been telling us long before the Homeland Security Department just issued this dire warning after we've seen story after story. White supremacist domestic terrorism is our number one threat. And I got to say, I'd like to be happy clappy. I'm actually really scared between the threats against Hakeem Jeffries and his family, AOC.
Yeah.
I just, and them all requesting more security from the House because most of them are getting death threats.
Yeah.
We haven't been exactly here, have we, in the United States Congress, at least?
No.
Never.
Not even during the Civil War. This is the thing. And the Republicans, the fact that they're voting against, dealing with Trump's insurrection, and the fact that RNC is talking about having Trump speak.
Oh my God.
It is the most ridiculous. I can't even get my mind around how these are the people. One cop was bludgeoned to death. Over 100 and some police officers were injured, many severely. 2 have committed suicide, and they're like, let's just move on. And then all those people were hurt defending their lives.
Yeah.
That is the thing. It's not like they were off in some foreign land and we don't understand what happened. It was in the U.S. Capitol. They were defending their lives. And these representatives and these senators are saying their lives don't matter. We're for white supremacy. We believe in this insurrection so much. We're going to back the head of it again on our party platform. And then I got to read critiques of Biden? No.
Yeah. And Francis, I don't want to hear out of their mouths anymore. There's liberals want to defund the police, and liberals don't support police. We saw policemen getting bludgeoned to death, as Angela said, getting crushed to death in a door, getting beaten with a thin blue line flag and an American flag by right-wing Trump supporters.
Yeah. And someone's going to lose an eye, literally.
Yes.
One of the police officers, and no one cares, and everybody's like, well, for the sake of unity,
unity.
Let's have unity. It's not time for unity. It is time for accountability. That is the time right now. There's no other time for it. This is the time to get the judges to get the judging, and let's have a trial, because this can't happen again. We can't continue to have people come in and say that they're going to take over our government.
Mitt Romney. I'm agreeing with Mitt Romney hard cold this week. Mitt Romney said, if you want unity, then I have yet to see one of these Republicans, Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCarthy, one of them say the election was not stolen. One of them say that President Biden is the legitimate president. Though that's the thing that's divisive. That's the thing that's dividing people, but they won't address that because they want an insurrection. They're still voting for insurrection. And AOC is right. Don't talk to me about unity when you are backing people who are threatening my life.
There is a weird silver unity of racial equity in that, you guys, that they are treating the white guy just like they treated Obama. They are making him the exact same illegitimate president that they are going to block everything that he tries to do because he wasn't either legitimately elected or whatever, right?
Yeah, the plan worked the first time. So why not reinstitute it every time? If the play works, work the play.
Yeah. Mitch McConnell, they're not into unity. They're voting. They did everything they could to delay seating elected senators. They are trying to stop the Democrats, the majority, from having the majority say. And I gotta tell you, Chuck Schumer, I'm not down. It is time that we start acting like the people we are, which is the people who won, who have the backing of the majority of the country, not by a slim majority. We don't, by a real majority.
But Angela, that's why I said I give him props for yesterday saying we're doing this COVID relief bill with Republican help or not. Use the budget reconciliation. You can only use it twice, but you know what I mean? I'm torn. Yeah. I mean, COVID relief we need first. Jobs, I know. Those are the two they're saying. But then guess what doesn't get done? John Lewis Voting Rights Act. We need to do all of it. We need to figure out a way to do all of it or our democracy is,
Oh, I had the nerve to wake up to an article saying Joe Biden is being critiqued for using so many executive orders. I was like, are you kidding me?
I know.
Are you kidding me? Because the former idiot, he used it to try to take away the powers of the purse from Congress, to usurp actual budget authority. And you're talking about too many executives. That's all Trump did.
Yeah. And as comedians, Francis, I have to say, you talked about this poor Capitol Police officer, but what have we always learned? It is only funny until someone loses an eye. So literally, we are at this point where, and if you cannot impeach a president for violent overthrow of the United States government, what is impeachment for?
What's the point?
Exactly.
How you have representatives who are threatening each other.
Yeah. And if you can't stop someone who started an insurrection to overthrow and come in and send people to kill you, I don't know who you're supposed to stop.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know which story is scarier. Ohio man claimed to have special knowledge. It wasn't Donald Trump supporters who orchestrated the siege of the Capitol. He tried to blame Antifa, but the only thing he ended up accomplishing was implicating himself in criminal offenses. He was just arrested in Ohio. He posted a video on social media blaming Antifa. He said it was just a vast left-wing conspiracy between police and the media against pro-Trump individuals. While he was doing that, he acknowledged he was inside the Capitol that day. So we have to also be grateful, but some of these people are such idiots. And they have implicated themselves on social media, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not just stupid, they're not afraid.
No, because literally, I read an article yesterday about the FBI and the DOJ trying to just pick a few people who would be representative of the people who stormed the Capitol and punish just those few. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Anybody whose cell phone was in there who wasn't supposed to be in there should catch a case.
None of them were supposed to be in there. They were all not supposed to be in there. They weren't supposed to be on the steps, let alone in the building. Every single person who got off that sidewalk and went up those steps should be arrested.
All right, Kevin in DC has been waiting all week to talk to Frangela. Chris, are you able to put a phone? Oh, Chris is dealing with something.
Chris is occupied right now.
Oh, okay. Can you put Kevin from DC on? No? Oh, all right. He's trying. There he is. Never mind.
Not right now.
Okay, we'll come back to Kevin. Sorry. Kevin's been waiting all week for you.
We love you, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, why are they letting any of these MFers out of jail, by the way?
Because they're white.
Thank you.
It's because there's just, when I look at the difference between, they're ready to convict phantom Antifa people who don't exist, who have no organization and who weren't there, more than they are the people who were. Yeah. That we have video proof of.
Yes.
I still never understood Antifa. Yes, I am against fascists. Yes, I am. I am outwardly against fascists. Yeah. I thought we all were, right?
Yeah. But you know what? But it's the Antifa ghost. Let's blame them instead of Shirley, who you know is your neighbor from who's in the book club. She was up in there, up in the Capitol, but you don't want to prosecute her. You don't want to prosecute your aunt. And most importantly, we don't want to. What they don't want to prosecute are ex-military people who were training people to be there. Current cops who were in there. They're talking about 30 law officers potentially who were in the Capitol building that day. Why aren't they being dealt with?
And more harshly. And cops that are involved in the injury and murder of other cops should not be singled out for special,
Why don't you take a tour? One of y'all go take a tour of the Middle East for a couple months and see what happens when you come back.
Yeah.
Because what this is these people went and got quote unquote radicalized and they got trained for this insurrection. We watched a small organized militia, and by militia I mean insurrectionist, terrorist, white supremacist idiots that were organized, utilize a disorganized mob to storm the Capitol, take over a branch of our government for hours while the president waited and hoped they were successful at it. Okay. And put everybody's lives in danger. They would have killed and kidnapped any of them. They were ready to do it. We just had one or two cops who, because they were Black, weren't in on it. And so they didn't help out. And that's the only reason that more people weren't hurt. But to have these people sit here and not want to go after the people who attacked the people who were defending your life, shame on Mitch McConnell. Shame on all of them. How dare they?
Can I say, how many times are Black people going to have to save our country?
Thank you.
I mean, this election, Black people voting in this election barely saved our democracy. And you're right, Angela, that one guy probably saved Mike Pence's life and half of the Senate. Literally, they were 100 feet away and 10 seconds away. If that Black officer had not led them in the other direction, they were this close.
And he had the option. You saw him take the look. You saw him know that, he was like, okay, I'm gonna go this. He literally, and he pushed the guy to keep him coming at him. Yeah. That is what this man did.
Yeah.
And I got to hear about Marjorie, what's her name? I can't.
I know. Can't. But you are going to, because we still have the rest of the hour. Wow, our technical difficulties have followed us all week. So we are, I'm not sure, on Free Speech TV, but not on regular radio right this second, because I don't know why. Because rain? Because squirrels? Because what?
The Flaphargan has disconnected from the Zingamagoop.
Okay. All right. So Chris is fixing that. Can I just say, Sean Comiskey, though he's supposed to be in COVID quarantine, has been over here helping with technical things more than once. We thank him so much for that. We would not be on the air at all if he did not come in Monday. And Chris Lavoie is, we can't see him now because he's under the board, doing the Lord's work, doing the best we can here, trying to, with the other half of our staff out in COVID quarantine now. So thank you for all your helpful suggestions. But we are,
he's leaving right now.
Somebody just suggested 2 cans and a string. Thank you for your suggestions. Okay. Oh my God. And super sugar daddy Mike from San Francisco, our amazing benefactor, I think is replacing a piece of 18-year-old equipment for us. So God bless you. God bless us, everyone.
Can we clarify? He's replacing your 18-year-old box.
Thank you. It's a dusty, dusty box where no man's seed can find purchase.
The buttons don't work on your box anymore, and it's just
don't need to tell me, except for Angela V. Shelton in an imaginary sex dream.
Well, a couple of the buttons on your box do stick. They're kind of sticky.
Thank you, Francis. Thank you. You're just saying that to be nice. Okay.
None of that was necessary. None of that.
All right, can I just say it was the best half hour of Fridays with Frangela ever, though, I have to say. And so we need to post that somewhere, because that brilliance cannot be lost to the universe.
And Casey, who is kicking ass for us right now over at the Progressive Voices Network, is going to be getting this up on the YouTube channel later on today.
Okay, fantastic. Aww. Yes, he is keeping us on the air here at Free Speech TV this week while Jess is out with COVID. And we thank everybody. It has been amazing. All right, so 29 minutes after the hour, We'll be back on all cylinders, I hope, with Fridays with Frangela next on the Stephanie Miller Show. You know what? And it takes a village to get this Stephanie Miller Show family on the air. We have to thank everybody, even the gerbils that are furiously working in their wheel to get this all on the air today. Thank you to Casey in Minneapolis. He says he will get the interviews of John Fugelsang and Frangela on Political Voices Network on YouTube up in just the next few minutes in case you've missed some, because we are on Free Speech TV, but with the sound, something is happening with the regular radio show. Okay, but we are soldiering on, aren't we, kids?
It's Denver, the city by the Bays issue right now.
Yes. Okay. We are trying to get it all figured out. We have half our staff out with either COVID or COVID quarantine. Krista will be back on Monday to actually answer the calls. People don't realize, Francis, I am without my box, which is not about being in quarantine and my love life. I don't have my box. I don't have my microphone. I don't have my headphones. I don't have my phone screen. I can't answer and hang up on my own calls. So we're doing the best we can here, kids. Thank you for your support. All right. Chris, we do have love. Thank you. Might I have Senator Van Hollen as well from Cut 11 talking about the GOP's loyalty to Trump? Ugh.
It's insane.
Yeah, here we go. Chris Van Hollen.
A trial. Those Republican senators will have to look at the facts and stare them head on and render a judgment. Clearly, it was disappointing that in this most recent vote, 45 of them chose to look the other way and not want to even look at the evidence before us.
How is that? Okay. They were trying to kill them. So there is no line for the Republican Party.
No. And Steve Scalise taught me that. Like, I used to think it would take every single person getting shot before we get gun control. And then I watched like when it comes down to it, these people will protect white supremacy over everything else.
By the way, did you see Dana Loesch tried to compare the Capitol riot to the Steve Scalise shooting? And first of all, Bernie never incited anyone to violence and condemned it immediately when it happened. It's just, they are like the party of just false analogies, right?
Yeah. Well, they have to be, because otherwise they'd have to just straight up say, look, we just believe in white power. And I know we've talked all this stuff about trade and the economy and blah, blah, blah. What we really care about is protecting white power and white privilege. That's all we care about. And the 1% that we're in. Like, that's it.
Well, I mean, what's sad, Francis, is they are admitting they need white supremacists or they'll never win another election again. They need their crazy QAnon conspiracy, white supremacist, Proud Boy, Boogaloo base, I guess.
Well, here we are. All of a sudden, America is starting to look a little like Italy. It's starting to look a lot like other countries where they don't keep that under wraps. That these people walk around and are legitimized. We are legitimizing QAnon right now. We're legitimizing white supremacist groups right now. When we have people in the GOP who will not condemn it, but welcome it, they are embracing it. We're walking into, and here's the thing, we need to have our eyes open into a new America. This is not going away.
I think it's an unmasking. I think that for years we've been told, and we've been saying it for years, that the police, that all of these institutions are absolutely started because of white power and because of white supremacy and the attempt to keep control of it, but have been absolutely infiltrated by these secessionist, treasonous, traitorous people, white supremacists. And nobody's wanted to hear that. There's just a few bad apples. Well, now we see that that's not the case. And in fact, when given a choice, that's the agenda they're backing. I mean, my understanding is they have Trump scheduled to speak at the spring RNC meeting.
Yeah.
That's insane.
This is just a bookmark as far as Trump is concerned, in his presidency and his grab at power.
Well, this goes to what Glenn Kirshner just said earlier, Francis, on the show. He said this is an ongoing coup.
Yeah,
this is why there has to be consequences. This is not over. Malcolm Nance just published today in the Washington Post, we're still too complacent about the threat of violent extremism. He told us about his new book, which is entitled, They Want to Kill Americans: The Armed Militias, Fanatical Terrorists, and Deranged Ideology of the Coming Trump Insurgency.
Yeah.
The Republicans are doing the so-called legal part of it.
Yeah.
Like the fact that there's over 100 congressional reps that shouldn't be seated.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't, it's absolutely
no, and
insane.
that's what Glenn said, is this really, president on down needs to be criminally prosecuted.
Yeah.
Chris, if we could have Senator Van Hollen, the impeachment should be the first step. Chris, if I could have cut 12.
He can't hear you right now.
Oh, all right.
There he is.
Yes, he can hear me. Here we go. Cut 12.
Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader, has been so spineless in refusing to hold his members accountable. And, after he made those comments on the floor, criticizing Donald Trump for having, essentially incited the violent mob. And now he's headed down to Florida on bended knee, essentially asking Donald Trump for forgiveness. This is a big, big problem.
Oh, as that soundbite was playing, this popped up on my phone. A court ruling uncovered by HuffPost shows one of Trump's impeachment lawyers used racial stereotypes to kick Black citizens off a jury. That's so surprising, isn't it?
I know. So unlike them.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they even let Black people into the courtroom.
Yeah.
Like this is, when I look at this, I'm like, this is insane, because it is worse, but no different than if I walked up into the Capitol as a representative with an Al-Qaeda flag.
Yeah.
Like talking about I'm going to bring my gun up in here. The fact that they're letting representatives walk around metal detectors, arrest them.
Yeah.
Yes.
What the heck? You have the law on your side. This sort of cavalier not using the law when it comes to white people is it is insanity.
And it's from Trump all the way down.
Yeah.
Right, Angela, it's the law. The laws don't apply to us. Rules don't apply to us.
No.
I mean, it's yeah.
And that's why they put up, they're not just stupid. They are stupid. But the reason that people put up and bragged about this is because they have no reason to fear reprisals. I mean, the harshest reprisal I've seen is a woman sent to her mom's house with a talking to about the Constitution. And Maddow, who I love, made that seem like it was a really good thing. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
nobody gets that treatment. No person of color gets that treatment.
For jaywalking.
Yeah, it's kid gloves all day long. And I frankly, watching this whole thing, what's amazing to me is watching white people get off. And they go, wait a minute, isn't something else is supposed to happen here? And they're waiting for their legal system to work. But it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Can we start with the number of these rioters that live with their mom? And then let's talk about, beyond the racism, just mental illness.
Yeah.
I mean, it was thanks for the heads up that out here in California, Marjorie Taylor Greene, that apparently Jerry Brown used a space laser to start the California wildfires to clear a path for the high-speed rail that he wanted. What are we going to do about mental illness? I mean, this is mental illness in this country. I mean, I blame Reagan. He apparently let everybody out of the mental institutions to get into Congress. He closed the hospitals. Right, to get into Congress. They all ended up in Congress.
Yeah.
There is a definite problem with mental illness here. And I think that there's also a definite problem with the way that we diagnose. That when we have white children who have behavioral problems, we get counseling, we do all those other things. We have Black children, we throw them in jail. And rearrest them, or we throw beat them up, we kill them. And I think that because we've gotten rid of those hospitals, we don't have that. Because we don't care about education, we have a bunch of stupid people who don't have any power of critical thinking. And then we have organizations that won't take responsibility for the information they put out.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: we talk about mental illness,
and after real quick, Francis, after the tan suit, they're still going to write about Joe Biden's Rolex.
His Rolex.
When we just had a violent insurrection.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
And that Rolex belonged to his dead son. If anybody has the right to wear that, it's that man. He has earned that right. Yeah. So what? I mean, the things that we have put up about before Trump was even inaugurated, the things we put up with.
It's a double, I mean, the double standard and the hypocrisy is insane to me. It's that Republican, you can literally have somebody like, I'm already, Kelly Loeffler, the richest person, you know, appointed and called an incumbent from being appointed to a position to have hundreds of millions of dollars, but let AOC borrow a suit for a magazine shoot. And it is like, what is going on? They are just taking advantage. It's like, it is the most insane thing in the world. And we continually allow it to go on instead of acting like what we are, which is the rightful winners. Like, I've had it.
Stop apologizing. Stop asking. Ram it through.
You don't negotiate with terrorists. We do not negotiate with terrorists.
Did not ask Angela V. Shelton if she wanted to be in a sex scene with me in the Sexy Liberal COVID inaugural. I just did it. I took what was mine. And
that's right. But I give blanket permission to anyone on the team.
Oh, see, that's really big of you. And also, speaking of Kelly Loeffler, this is why you cannot miss a second of the final word on the Sexy Liberal Podcast Network. Because when Frances said the day after the election, Kelly Loeffler's weave is not going to be right for weeks, I still laugh. I still laugh every time I hear Kelly Loeffler's name.
It was rough that day. She was in a state.
Coups are not good for your weave.
No, I know it. I have a weave, as you know, and it has really been murder. Okay, Chris, can I have one last Senator Chris Van Hollen, cut 13, before we go to break here?
I wish we saw Republicans deciding to turn the page and put this really awful era of Donald Trump behind them, but instead they seem to be still captured by Donald Trump.
What is it? Don't you feel like if you look at all the polling, that they have a perfect gift to excise this cancer, that's cost them the White House, the Senate, and the House, and move on, and they won't do it. They're such cowards.
Yeah, AOC said it, but I think giving them that was giving them too much credit. I've believed that it was about re-election and about maintaining power. But the truth is, they're white supremacists.
Yeah, they want this.
They want it.
Yeah,
they want him.
Yeah, yeah.
They're going down to visit him. Like, they want him. Like, it's straight up. This is a choice. They're not afraid. They already lost. They're not afraid. Why? They know all they have to do is pass some more, not let the John Lewis thing drag their feet. And what are they working on? They've got, what is it, like over 100 bills around the country to engage in voter suppression right now?
Yeah.
Like, they know what to do. We'll just stop you from voting.
Right. Yeah. You know what? We're like, I don't know what to say. We're the people on the Trump-tanic that got into the lifeboat. Like, and Kathy Bates is like, let's go back for them. And I think you're right. We just have to be like, no, they're going to pull us all under. And we're like, okay, you're going to fall and hit the propeller anyway. Don't let go of Trump. Okay, don't then.
Throw some of those little floaties and they can grab them or not.
Do your thing.
Protect voting rights or we will never get back into office again.
That's the thing, Frances, is they can only use budget reconciliation twice. Their COVID relief, they're going to use it for first. That is critical. The jobs and infrastructure bill is also critical, but then that leaves out voting rights and the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and whatever. And I'm like, you're right. And immigration. And you're like, they're all critical.
Here's the thing. We need to start thinking like this is our government and look at why only twice. Why don't we just change it? That's what they do. They just go ahead and do it. And I'm like, and I am not in favor of the villainy you teach, right? I am not in favor of becoming what I hate. But when I tell you that if we just watch Mr. Collins spend 2 weeks trying to not sit two duly elected senators and try to say that the minority vote in the Senate should be able to determine anything. No. Yeah. Why can't we use it 3-4 times?
Yeah,
Trump
I'm with you.
Just took money he had no right to take to build a wall he had no right to build. Why are we acting like we can't do that?
And took it from the military and Homeland Security. And yes, exactly. Okay, 48 minutes after the hour. They are going up at this whole hour will go up on the YouTube channel for Progressive Voices. Chris,
Political Voices Network.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yes, it will go. Just search YouTube for Political Voices Network and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and you'll automatically get all of the videos sent to you. And it's not just the Stephanie Miller Show, it's Tom Hartman. It's a whole bunch of great stuff. So Political Voices Network. on
Because with
YouTube.
half of our staff out with COVID or in COVID quarantine, we have had obviously some technical nightmares. We've been on Free Speech TV this hour, but not on the radio. So, and I'm not saying Frangela, I'm just saying I think this was the best Fridays with Frangela ever so far.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I'm hearing buzz.
And people can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for instance, you know how fragile performers' egos are. So I got a love letter about Sexy Liberal COVID inaugural and how great it was, which was nice. And then they said, she said, I was glad I got to talk to you in the VIP meet and greet. I couldn't get in to see Frangela because they're always the most popular ones. And I couldn't get in. It's the same way at the live shows. So that was nice I was like, oh, well, I'm sorry you had to talk to me and you couldn't. I know Frangela is the most popular. Shut up.
Please.
Oh,
Let me tell you something. I enjoyed the show so much this time. I loved, I told you before, I told Stephanie, when we were always meeting and talking about it, but I love it whenever you're like doing something out of your home or, the COVID diaries, just everything.
Those are great.
Were hysterical.
You guys were brilliant as always. I couldn't love it more. Go to sexyliberal.com, the tour section. You can still see it on demand. It is amazing. I'm so proud of all of you guys. I'm blown away every single time. And it's fine, Jill. I'm sorry that you could not get in to see the most popular girls in the world, Frangela, because the line's too long for their room. And it's the same thing in the live show. Okay, you're lucky I love Frangela as much as I do, Jill, because, okay. The two pipe bombs that were discovered on January 6th, shortly before the mob stormed the building, are believed to have been planted the night before, and we still haven't caught those guys. So that's a little concerning. We've caught zip tie guy and Molotov cocktail guy. They're all like evil army men, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting for bayonet guy.
Yeah, we don't have bayonet guy.
Laying down guy.
I know there's a lot going on, but I'm like, we don't know who planted the pipe bombs.
Seems like somebody knows. Because let me tell you what these people don't do. It's keep their mouths shut. Yeah. Like somebody knows. Yeah. Many people know. Yeah. Whoever that is told a bunch of people. And if there's anyone out there that has an ounce of decency about them.
And Angela, why another exhibit 6,000 for why this should be bipartisan? They planted a bomb at the RNC and the DNC. They wanted to kill Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi.
Yep.
I mean, this is why you're absolutely right, Angela. We're never going to get bipartisan cooperation.
No.
We can't get bipartisan cooperation on a president who incited a riot to kill them.
They don't want to condemn the violence against police officers, one at least who's died, many of whom will be injured permanently forever, and two have committed suicide that were defending them. They won't condemn that. Like, it's insane.
Hal Sparks does this brilliant bit about we'll all get together when the T-Rex comes back, when dinosaurs come back. No, even then, they'll throw us out to be eaten by the T-Rex. Right, Francis?
Yes, absolutely. I'm telling you, the reality is that here we are waiting for people to come together, and it's just not going to happen. Stop asking.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we can leave the door cracked. If they come, they can knock on it.
That's
and we can let them in one by one after a thorough check.
You know can knock on our door. Yeah, you knock on our door. We end with Three's Company. All right. But Fridays with Frangela, get the final word. We'll see you Monday on the Stephanie Miller Show.